Okay, there's Andrew. Summer. Alrighty, we've got most everyone here. Let's get started. We have a warm-up in the fabulous AP classroom. We will go over that. The create task go is what we will be working on for the next 2 weeks, basically. We will be working on our apps and our written responses and our videos and all that good stuff. All right. The progress check we are on is the begin coding. I will be going through checking in your code.org. If you are not working in code.org, please send me a link to your app so I can see if you have code. You just need to start. You do not need your code done. Don't worry about that. It's just a progress check. And how to make a video for the create task. That's actually going to be next class's video. What is due is your progress check 3, the idea that there is some code. No, yes, the idea there is some code in your app. We are doing a quiz on algorithms on Monday, the 26th. Look, oh, I swear we have Winston and Eric. All right. Welcome, Winston. Welcome, Eric. So we're just going over the agenda. Basically, we'll be working on our apps for the next 2 weeks. What is due right now is the idea that there is some code in your code section. It is not completed. I just need at least some piece of code in there. Somebody did it by leaving me a comment with a link to their app lab. I thought that was very smart. So we have our progress check 3. We have our quiz on algorithms, which is going to be on Monday. Nothing terrible, the classic 3-4 questions. You need to get your create performance task done. You need to make the video. You need to get that PDF of your program code, the written response submitted to the College Board by May 14th, 2021. All right. The goal or objective is that you will be able to create a program that fulfills all the requirements of the AP create task by following the survival guide. Okay. I guess I'll take a moment here before we go into our warm-up. I just did want to acknowledge the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial and how much that meant to so many in America. This has been a tough year. We've talked a lot about, you know, is this who we are as Americans? Is this not? To see members of your community in distress like this and to have it be typical is very, very debilitating. It really, it's like continuous pain. There is nothing more debilitating than continuous pain. So this is a step, hopefully a step in the right direction. But this is one verdict. As you see, these situations keep cropping up. A part of it is that the world is much smaller, that we hear about everything that goes on around us, and that impacts us. But I just wanted to share, you know, my joy at the verdict and my pain at the situation, and give you guys a moment, if you wanted, to say anything or express yourself or, you know, whatever. I just didn't want to gloss over it. I did not talk about it in my first class, and I just do think, like everything, it makes us feel better to acknowledge these things. This is, you know, America today. We are in a world in transition. And my motto is what's going to get us through it: adapt, improvise, and overcome. We need each other. We need to support each other, and we need to try and be the best citizens we can. I heard a really wonderful thing from a nice Republican congressman. He was in the, he was a student at Columbine. So I'm sorry, it makes me so upset. It was, I think, the 20th anniversary or the 21st anniversary of Columbine. His only words were, "Be nice to someone." I'm sorry, it really, really hurts me. Be nice to someone. Do a random act of kindness. Make someone feel you went out of your way to be kind to them. It just hurts me that we have to try so hard to be nice to each other. All right, enough of that. And this is why I don't go into these things. It tends to make me upset. Let's go to the fabulous AP classroom. And amazingly, I have it up. All right, so we're going to have a mindfulness moment, and I'm just going to breathe deep. So question 1, a team of researchers wants to create a program to analyze the amount of pollution reported in roughly 3,000 counties across the US. The program is intended to combine county data sets, and then process the data. Which of the following is most likely to be a challenge in creating the program? Okay, so the idea is the program is intended to combine county data sets and then process the data. Which of the following is most likely to be a challenge? Is it A, a computer program cannot combine data from different files? B, different counties may organize data in different ways? C, the number of counties is too large for the program to process? Or D, the total number of rows of data is too large for the program to process?
I would say B is the main problem.
Good job singing out there. All right, I think that was a vote for B, not D. Different counties may organize data in different ways. Anybody want to say why you think that's the right answer? What's the problem when you organize in different ways? Well, it's not that they may not be formatted the same. That typically when you are combining data files, they need to be in the same format. They cannot have, you can't combine an Excel file and a Word doc. Let's say one county's keeping all their stuff on Word docs, one county's doing it in Excel. You can't combine those. So you need to be using a consistent format. But it's the idea that if you do it differently, you need to accommodate that. All right. A video game character can face towards one of 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. Each direction is stored in memory as a sequence of 4 bits. A new version of the game is created in which the character can face towards one of 8 directions, adding northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast to the original 4 possibilities. Which of the following statements is true about how the 8 directions must be stored in the memory? Now, I swear the way it is written, there is no right answer. But don't worry about that and let me know what you think the right answer is. Thank you, guys. Oh, crazy written responses. We'll get to that in a moment. So our answers are 4 bits are not enough to store the 8 directions. 5 bits are needed for the new version of the game. 4 bits are not enough to store the 8 directions. 8 bits are needed for the new version of the game. 4 bits are not enough to store the 8 directions. 16 bits are needed for the new version of the game. 4 bits are enough to store the 8 directions. What do we think? And then I'll give you my take on it. Anybody?
I'd say that 4 bits are enough
And why are you saying that 4 bits are enough?
because, I mean, to store the direction the character is facing, you kind of only need one thing, which is you don't need to say all of them at once. The character is facing northeast. That's 1 bit of information that you need.
Right. And the idea is that in 4 bits, you can count to 7, but there are 8 things because there's 0 in there, right?
Exactly.
Okay. My problem with the way this question is worded, each direction is stored in memory as a sequence of 4 bits. They're saying each direction takes 4 bits. So you got 16 bits just for the first one, and there's no answer that goes past 16 bits, right?
Yeah, they probably just worded it wrong.
No, and I agree. And that's why your answer is the correct one for what we're talking about. And it's, I believe, we're just thinking there are 8 bits, 8 possibilities in 4 bits, right? On and off in each bit. Good job. Question 3. A user wants to save a data file on an online storage site. The user wants to reduce the size of the file, if possible, and wants to be able to completely restore the file to its original version. Which of the following actions best supports the user's needs? I am proud to say I think most of you could answer this without even looking at the answer. So A is compressing the file using a lossless compression algorithm before uploading it. B, compressing the file using a lossy compression algorithm before uploading it. Look, it's Kenny G. C, compressing the file using both lossy and lossless compression algorithms before uploading it. Or D, uploading the original file without using any compression.
A.
Brilliant. Yes, I am hoping that everybody knows that if you want to get a file to come back 100%, if you are going to compress it, you have to use lossless compression. So something we were talking about today with your AP, with your videos of your code, is the idea that almost all cell phones these days are recording in 1080, and that's going to make too big a file. So Ms. Rudnick was seeing if we could adjust the resolution of our camera, but I don't think you can adjust a phone camera's resolution. So the idea was, if your file is too big, we're going to need to find a compression algorithm that's going to compress that down to 30 megabytes or less. And that will be using lossy compression. All right, that's it. Let's get back to here. All right, we're just doing very similar stuff. Designing your app. Remember to follow these steps as you design your app. Make sure, again, everyone laughs to see that we have seen this 4 times or at least 5 times. I am betting somebody will not be using unique element IDs or naming their screens. Make sure to give all your element IDs unique names that describe their use in the program. Same goes for screen names. Use camel case, start screen, not screen 1. Make sure your user interface is accessible. Check the colors, spacing, and size of text. A weird idea that Ms. Rudnick gave me was her son's colorblind. Make sure your app works if someone is colorblind. The text, I've had comments from other teachers, you've got to be able to read the text. And yes, young eyes are much better than old eyes, but 2-point font is not going to make it. Basically, you are trying to make your AP reader's life as easy as possible. Make sure they can read the directions, they can interact with your app. Are there any directions that needed to be added to your app as text boxes? Like I say, I did have a couple apps for the hackathon. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. It didn't tell me. It was like, a weather app, and then there were some things to poke at. But explain what you need to do if it is not intuitive from looking at your app. Coding your app. Decide on what your functions will do. Make sure one function uses parameters, Boolean logic, loops, and traverses a data set. Okay, remember to use comments for citing code, images, and music that you find from other sources, even if it's your own music. Like I recorded myself playing Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven. Ideally, you are supposed to be taking imagery or music from Creative Commons. The link to Creative Commons is essentially a license. I do not think the AP is going to have a problem if you got an image off Google and say, I got this image off Google, and give the URL. Technically, you should be licensing that image if you were using it for a commercial purpose, but I do not believe this qualifies as a commercial purpose. Put your variables at the top of your program and the functions at the bottom. As I say, make life easy for your reader. Put your comments, if you're putting in comments, on top of the on event or your function. Do not put them, inside or at the bottom. You want people to be able to spot what they're looking for. So variables are created on the top of the program. Your function is at the bottom, and you call it wherever you need. On events are not functions. Do not be confused. If there is yellow in the block, it is not a function block. Functions are only green. Yes, an on event does have a weird little green piece on the end of it that says function. That is incorporating a function into it. It does not mean that your on event is a function. Making a video. Progress check 4. Next week, plan out and practice what you will do to show your program's functionality. Again, I do not believe you are showing all the functionality of your program. You need to demonstrate input, that your app does something, and you get output, right? The input and the output are really what they are focusing on. So I am picking, I want to see a movie from the 80s that is rated G. Okay. That is what, and then it's going to pop out a data screen that's going to tell me what movie I want. So you're going to see me poke 80s and G, and then something magic is going to happen, and there is going to be output. That is all you are showing. You only need to show one aspect of functionality of your app. I do not believe you need to show all aspects of functionality. Okay? Use the share link from code.org when you're trying to make your video of your code. That creates a box for your code that does not have your name on it. You cannot have your name on your video. You cannot narrate your video. Okay? So I will show you in a moment what that looks like. Ways to record a video. Screencastify is a Google extension. Screencast-O-Matic is an online tool with a free option. Phone recordings, check resolution, file size limit. I would take the equals off of this. This is a wonderful little piece of code. The limits. If time is less than 1 minute and file size is less than 30 megabytes, upload your video to the AP Digital portfolio. Else, make a new video. Do not go to 60 seconds. Do not go to 30 megabytes. I do not want you going over. And it is just too easy if you are right on the number to slip over somehow. And that would be a silly reason to get points taken off. This is our calendar. We are on day 8 today. We are going through day 12. The next 2 weeks, we'll be working on our apps, right? So we have a quiz on Monday, but we're going to have those 2 days. You're going to need to make your video. Progress check 5, the written responses, is going to be on the 3rd. Okay. Then we're going into test review. Okay, so right now we are still on the progress check of coding in your app. I only need to see that you are coding, not that you have finished your coding. I just need the start. Okay, this is the one thing. Okay, so this is the share link. This is what an app looks like when you use the share link. When you open it from a link, see, it doesn't have your name or anything on it. So this is course information, but this, click Twitter 3 times. The AP test for computer science principles includes submission of the create performance task, a program created by the student, and a 2-hour 70-question multiple choice test. Just as to give you faith, 84.9% of Churchill High School students who took the AP earned a 3 or better on their AP tests last year. So odds are you are going to do well. Again, don't worry so much about your ability. Just do your best and you're going to be compared to everyone else. Just assume if you are worried about your skills, there are other people even more worried out there. All right. Basically, the create task is 30% of your AP grade and the written test is 70%. Okay. And we are done with that. And we are done with our slideshow. Any questions? Any questions, problems, issues? All right. I'm going to open up our breakout rooms. In you go. We will be done at 2:20. So we've got about a half hour. 2:30. I know. Thank you. Somebody looks after me. I just can't do math in my head these days. I don't know why. Yes, Jordan is asking, are our partners allowed to help us with code or no? Last year, you were not, it was not true pairs programming. You were not allowed to use any of your partner's code in the function that you created. This year, in theory, it is true pairs programming. Whatever code you develop with your partner is both of your codes and you do not need to attribute it. If I had somebody that's working with their partner and they have something that their partner is giving them that they didn't work on with their partner, all you need to do is put a comment, Jim Jones gave me this code to use. That is fine. All right. You can only have your code in your function that you are showing. You cannot have code that was given to you by someone else in the function that you are showing as your code. Ideally, you'll be working on that together with your partner, so it will all be in there. All right. Okay, let's get our breakout. All right, I am opening and I'll be assigning anyone who is not Oh, I am turning sharing on too. Okay, sharing is on in the breakout rooms. Oh, now I've lost my breakout rooms. Thank you, Sudhir. Maybe I'll read that at the end. Okay, breakout rooms there. Okay. Kareem.
Hey, Mr. Swift, can we go?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.